Okay guys, Matt here with Trees to Firewood. Today I wanted to talk about is an outdoor wood burner for you? Meaning, is it worth buying one and operating and so on? So I'm just going to go over what it takes to have a wood boiler, the things you would be doing if you had one, the preparation, the maintenance, and so on. So I guess number one, how do you heat your house currently? You have a traditional furnace that you've turned the thermostat to whatever temperature that you'd like. And is it, gas, natural gas? Is it propane? Is it electric? Do you already have hydronic heating in the house? So there's a lot of research and thoughts and decisions that you would have to make if you wanted to have a unit like this, an outdoor wood boiler that heats with wood. Some actually can use coal still and so on. So this is our first winter, I should say, with an outdoor wood boiler. We used to heat our house with a natural gas furnace, which you can see there. That's our house there. And our first winter here, we used a natural gas furnace, and we did that for the first year. We ripped out the gas insert stove, and there's my little new puppy. Say hello, Nova. It's okay, go potty. And then we inserted a wood stove insert, and we burned like that for 3 years. We would burn wood just like this. Well, I think on average we went through 5 full cords of wood for the whole winter, and that's burning nonstop for 24 hours, and which was fine. We got really good heat out of it, and it worked fine. I mean, in the middle of the night, I would probably feed it at midnight, and the wife would get up early and she'd put some more wood in there. It's no problem, real easy to do. I think the average American knows what that's all about. It's the same thing as a traditional wood stove, but it was just a wood stove insert with a blower on it, and it worked fine. And then I decided I wanted to have an outdoor wood boiler because I've always wanted one. I think they're really cool. And I wanted to heat my shops. I wanted to heat a driveway to make my life easier as life goes on for me, because we're only getting older. So I did a ton of research on wood boilers. I know the newer models or the EPA approved models like this Heatmaster G10000. It's very little smoke. Most of it's just condensation, very little maintenance, and very little wood consumption comparable to a traditional wood boiler. But number two, I guess the reason to think about is, where are you getting your wood source from? Do you have to buy it? Do you have a lot of property that you can use wood for or get wood out of? There's a lot of time involved with splitting. So this is my wood shed for my outdoor boiler. And yes, we still burn from time to time for aesthetics in the house. So when this is full here, this portion here, not what's over there, this would hold 5 full cords of wood. Okay, so I've already burned 3. I'm working on 4. This holds about roughly 4.5 full cords of wood. This is all pretty much ash, and the back is oak and locust. This was all dried before I put it in here. I'm sure some people are like, oh, it's not going to dry in there, but this was already dry before I put it in here. And we will burn probably 90% of what's in here. So I roughly probably go through 9 full cords of wood now, but I'm also heating almost double, if not a little over double, the square footage than just my house. If I have just the house on, no garages, no snow melt, I go through nothing. It's a joke. But I own a tree service and a firewood company, so I have wood coming in and out nonstop. But I still have to process it all. Obviously, I still have to stack it. I get it out of the elements. Yes, I did build this wood shed. That wasn't there. This wasn't there when we bought this house. So yes, it is a lot of work. So you got to think about it. So if you have an outdoor wood boiler, you have to go outside at least twice a day, maybe 3 times depending on your stove. Doesn't matter if it's raining, snowing, -10, -20, you're coming outside. You're putting wood in the boiler. Yes, and occasionally you got to clean it. So there is smoke. Yeah, I have mine under a roof. As you can see, this is a lean-to. I have it under a roof, so it is out of the elements. So when I come out here, but I still have to walk outside, whether it's snowing or raining or whatever, and come out here. But it's no big deal. I'm in outside back in the house within 5-10 minutes. Yes, you throw a jacket on. Sometimes I'm just in my t-shirt and I come out here, stir it up, throw it in, and go back in the house. But it's fine because I'm outside working 365 anyway, so it gets me out of the house if I'm not working that day, and the wife's outside usually doing something with the kids or whatever. So yeah, that's that. Instead of just flipping your thermostat, letting your furnace run, you come outside and you put wood in there. But you also get to heat a lot more stuff. And to me, you're not bringing wood in the house. Not that that's a bad thing. You don't have the debris, the dust of opening the firebox in your house. It's a different kind of heat. So the way I run it is I have, obviously, as you can see there, pipes that go all the way to my house under the ground. So here to the house where it goes in is roughly 180 feet. And then it comes back another 180 feet. It goes to my hot water tank, to my plenum, which we have just a fan run to go through the water to air heat exchanger to heat the house. So it's literally just a thermostat that regulates the temp that just turns on the fan. We plan on doing an addition down the road that we will have in-floor heating and whatnot and blah, blah, blah. So that's that. You do have the cost of a wood boiler. I know they can range from probably $6,000 all the way up to 30 grand depending on what you buy. I paid, I want to say, just shy of 18 grand just for the stove for this. This was in year 2022, I think around April or May or something like that. Yes, it's a big expense. Will it pay for itself? Hands down, all day long. I don't have to pay for wood because I obviously have a tree service. So I get all the wood for nothing. I do buy log trucks for my production wood because I need wood coming in every day, and I need to be processing it to be able to sell for the next year. So the wintertime I'm stupid busy. But so you have that. So it's the cost. So if you got to buy wood, is it still cheaper than operating your furnace or whatever you have in your house that you heat with? I'd say yes. It's a better heat. And not only that, you're usually buying wood from a local company, right? So you're keeping the money local. It gives you a little bit of a workout to stack the wood, and you're burning it. Yes, is there a little bit of danger burning in your house? Sure, but so is your furnace if it leaks, right? So it's a kind of a catch-22. And I'd rather keep my money local if I can versus just paying the gas company or the electric company. And then if you have the boiler not in an enclosure like this, because I'd say 90-some% of people out there have it in the middle of their yard or extremely far away from their house or an establishment. So if you have it out in the middle of the open, yeah, you're going to be loading it in the snow, in the rain, in the very cold, in the wind. So you got to think about that every time you go outside to put wood in your stove. I'd say most people, you just deal with it and you go do it. That's just what you do. Because you're heating your house, your family, which is a good thing. So then you got to worry about where you're going to stack all your wood. How far away is your wood going to be from where you're going to be throwing it into your furnace? Okay, mine's, as you can tell here, it's not very far away. I have a cart that I roll over to load the wood and bring it over to the stove. So are you going to have your wood just sitting on racks outside getting snowed on and so on? I'd say most people do that because they either A, don't have the room or don't want to put a shelter up for it. But I don't put the wood in here until I know it's dry. So I have it outside getting seasoned, and then I bring it out of the elements so it can fully dry and be 100% not soaking wet. I mean, obviously this wood here, I think it's around 12% moisture, so which is extremely dry to burn. So, and then you got to think, how far away are you going to have it so when it is running, you don't have a ton of smoke pissing off your neighbors. So a unit like this, all it puts out is just condensation. It's just water vapor going in the air. It's just a little white smoke or smoke-like feature coming out of the stack, but it's just steam is all it really is. So you got to think about that. Not only that, you got to look at your city guidelines and rules and regulations and what they require. And then if you do just have property with logs and whatnot, how are you going to split the wood? Are you going to have a log splitter? Maybe not something like this, or a processor, or a standalone. Or are you going to cut it with an axe? So there is a lot of work involved with having one. But for the average homeowner, I think you can split and stack all the wood that you need for the whole winter in easily a week. You can do it for, I don't know, 3-4 hours a day. And if you got a good system down, you can split a lot of wood. Because I've split wood with just an axe 10 years ago when I first started. And I could do easily a full quart a day. And that's only doing it for 2-3 hours. Yeah, it's a workout. You know, I was in obviously a lot better shape 10 years ago, but and then you work smarter, not harder. I bought more machinery, and obviously today I got a lot of stuff. But so those are kind of the you know, pros and cons of having one. Yes, you're outside, but the wood's outside too. You're not bringing it in the house. You know, they're very efficient, very easy to use machines. You literally open the door, throw it in, you walk away. It regulates itself, the temperature of the water. There's pumps going non-stop. There are safety features in case it gets too hot and it shuts the machine down. It's very little maintenance. Yes, you do clean out some ash. On these models, you clean them out of the bottom, the combustion chamber there, the firebox door there, you open that up. You have your water gauge on the top so you know what the water's at. Because it is an open system, it's not a closed loop system, it's open. So that it'll evaporate from time to time, because I have this set at 185 degrees, and then the water temp will drop down to 175 and then go back up and so on. So yeah, that's a couple things to think about with having an outdoor wood boiler. Is it for you? Is it not? Is it worth the hassle going outside? It's all personal preference and what you think you're going to do. And then if you're away from, you go on vacation in the middle of winter, unless you have glycol in your system that won't freeze, is somebody going to come over and put wood in your system? Because it's not like you can just shut it down and walk away unless you have a backup system, like an indoor boiler, or is your furnace or your hot water tank or something going to continually heat the water when you're gone? Because the fire will go out obviously after a couple days for sure. It will stay warm for a while. Like this unit here, I can pack it full of wood. And if I just have the house going, I'm probably good for 2 days, maybe 2.5 days. And it'll still be at temp, no problem. So if I'm gone for 2 days, I'm okay. And not only that, my other systems will kick in and it'll keep it warm. But depending on your setup, some stoves, you can't really do that. It may take a ton of wood every day, and you're going to have somebody come over and feed it if you just got water in your system, because it will freeze. And if the underground pipes freeze, well, guess what? That's a big problem. That's a huge expense. So, and then, you know, you do have a little bit of electricity running, but to me, it's very, very minor. These pumps are so efficient now. Like, I don't even know if you guys can hear the pumps running. It's really a joke. So, but yeah, I kind of wanted to go over, you know, if an outdoor wood boiler is right for you. I mean, so there's a lot of things to consider. There's a lot of brands out there, a lot of options of what you could potentially buy. I chose the Heatmaster G10000 because I do have to heat a lot of square footage. And it just worked for me. My dealer's not really close. He's like 2 hours away. There was Crown Royal that's not really close. That's really another good brand. I don't really know too much about them. I forget why I kind of narrowed it down to this, but I just like the way they looked. I like the efficiency. The dealer feedback was really good for me. I did do a lot of research on what other customers had to say. So yeah, it was a good fit for me. It works. I know there's a lot of other good brands out there that work for other people, and so there's a lot of options, but I chose the gasification model because I wanted to be able to burn less wood and less maintenance. So, but yeah, other than that, yeah, if you have any questions, shoot me a message down below. If you like what you see, subscribe, because I'll be keep making videos every day, and yeah, we'll go from there. And eventually I'll be having some tree videos coming up. I mean, it's hard always to film on site because we're always moving stuff, you know, wood falling, trees coming down, and when I'm on site, it's busy. So, but yeah, other than that, keep burning.